Hi, everyone. My name is Anjuli Watanabe, and I am the event manager for CHIA of California. So I'm in charge of the convention that happens every year. I know things for that are a little up in the air, but hopefully you will be seeing some information about that from us soon. We are working hard to make sure that we are in God's plan and God's timing. So we will let you know more about that in the future. I am here today to talk a little bit about some ideas for Holy Week. Holy Week is the time from Palm Sunday into Easter Sunday. So just have some fun ideas that you can probably do with your kiddos at home. A little bit about me. I am a homeschooling mom, obviously, for 10 years. I have a 16-year-old son, 14-year-old son, and 7-year-old daughter. Um, and it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of hard work too. And I'd be lying if I didn't say there were a lot of rough days in there, but it's we're working it through. So I have a high schooler, junior high, and elementary. So that's what's been an interesting transition this year. Um, anyway, so having that big gap in kids gives me the opportunity to try to think of ways to help incorporate it for the youngest to the oldest. One thing that I have learned from before when I was actually a teacher and just watching my kids is that when you teach something, you actually remember it. So it's better to get your kids to teach this subject and they will actually keep it, remember it better. So I usually have my oldest do a lot of the stuff with my youngest to get him to better absorb the material. I start Holy Week by asking them, what is Holy Week? My oldest son blows me away. He's got it down, so that's good. I was super excited. He knew. So next year, I think I'm going to ask him to step to the side so my middle son can answer and see if he knows. So we have several ideas, and then I'm going to share the couple ideas that I do. You don't want to do all of these. It'll be way too much, so just pick one that sounds interesting. Our editor suggests doing the Sense of the Resurrection. She highly recommends it. This is by O. Amanda. She has this on her website. It's $9.99 to download it. It's a story that takes you through the resurrection story that takes you through the five senses. So it's great for the younger kids, so probably 9, 10, and down. We will put a link to everything that I'm talking about below, so you'll get to see everything that we want to, or everything that we're sharing here. Another idea are resurrection gardens. So it might be a little harder now, depending on if you're going out a lot or not, but you could go to Home Depot, they're open, or just find stuff that you have around your house, maybe even create it in your yard outside. If you have a little planter or something, you could do it there. But basically, you just lay some greens down for the ground, and then you have rocks for the tomb, and then the rock that rolls in front of the tomb, and then you make 3 wooden crosses and stick those in the ground, and then you go through the resurrection story with that. And you can find tons of those ideas if you just Google resurrection garden. You'll see a whole bunch. There's another one, Jesus Tree, which is 7 stories of Jesus's life. And you do one a day and you create an ornament each day. It has a free download and a devotion that goes with it. So that's pretty cool. Again, you'll see that link below. A Holy Week prayer journal. Awana has a free one available. We're going to put that link below as well. So you'll be able to look at that. Make a He is Risen banner. So just simple as it sounds, you just make a giant banner that says He is risen. You could do the little pennant banners, do a big banner, whatever you have in your house. Just make a great big sign that you can put up on Easter morning. Since in this season we can't really go out, it's kind of hard to, go surprise your friends with a little basket of goodies on their doorstep or do egg hunts and things like that. So one thing I was thinking about was if we take the time to think about our family and friends and sit with our family and pray about what it is we love about that family, what it is we appreciate about that family, write it down or type it out And then your kids can maybe draw a picture or write a poem or just something that you can scan and email to that family, or just send an email to them, letting them know that you're thinking about them, that you love them, and everything that you like about them. So I just thought that would be a fun way to let people know that you're thinking about them, even though you might not be able to be with them this Easter. Brainstorm other ideas like that, ways that your family can love on others, even though you're not able to be with them. Another thing is to learn about the Passover feast. It's a very important time for our kids. I think it's very important for our kids to learn about it. We've shared this experience with our kids so that they can know what Jesus did, right? Before this time, before his resurrection, he actually went through the Passover, right? So we actually have some resources for you. There is an online Seder that you can take part in, and an online, sorry, I get distracted so easy. Totally start reading the comments, and I should not be doing that. So anyway, that we have some great online Passovers that you can watch or take part in for your family, and also a link for a woman who has some ideas on creating your own virtual Passover. So just some fun ideas to try this year. Now that we have all this time, right? We can take some more time to do some other stuff. You can also read through Exodus 12 for the Passover story. The one thing that, so I'm doing two things this year. We have done the resurrection rolls for years, right? I think a lot of people have done them by now. They're a lot of fun and they taste really good. You just get the Pillsbury crescent rolls, lay those out, put some marshmallows in them, and then you can put sugar and spice inside, like cinnamon, apple pie spice, pumpkin spice, and whatever your family likes. And you talk about Jesus being laid in the tomb, and a little bit of butter, and you talk about him being anointed and the spices that they used and the things that they used to anoint his body before it was wrapped. You put it in the oven for the time that it says on the Pillsbury roll, and you take it out, and when you pop it open, did I say marshmallow? I can't remember. You put a marshmallow inside. When you pop it open, the marshmallow has disappeared. I suggest using the little bitty marshmallows. People say sometimes like this is Jesus's body broken inside. Or if you have the normal size marshmallows, I would cut them in half, because if you have a cheeky son like I do, and you take it out when you used a full one and it kind of gets all gooped, and he says, "Oh, Mom, Jesus melted." So I cut them in half now, just to make sure it doesn't go outside of the roll. Anyway, so that's a lot of fun, super easy, and you can find tons if you just, tons of information on that if you just Google Passover rolls. The other thing that I really enjoy are doing the Stations of the Cross. Our church did it a few years back. I've been to a couple churches that have done it. We don't do the full 14 stations. We cut it down to 6 to 12 stations. But I always enjoy it because it's such a great time to just be with Jesus, right? You go to each station, you take the time to sit and pray and remember every step of his journey. And for us and our family, that has meant so much. I absolutely love that. Now, this year we won't be able to go to one, which has made me kind of sad, but I was thinking it would be great if we made our own. So what I did is I went online, found some of the different Stations of the Cross that we could use, and I wrote up papers that have the name of the station and then the verses that go with that station. And what I'm doing is I'm giving them to my kids and allowing them, and my husband and I are going to do one as well, but allowing them to come up with ideas for each of the stations. Now, I told them they can color, they can do clay, Legos, whatever they want to do to represent that station. So my oldest wanted the first one, Station 1, Pilate condemns Jesus to die. And so this is what he's drawn. Now we work on this all week, and Friday we'll actually set it up and go through it. But this is what he has on there. So you have Pilate and Jesus and Barabbas, and the crowd. Sorry, it's kind of hard to read. The crowd chanting, "We want Barabbas." It's weird. It's backwards. Sorry. We want Barabbas, and death to Jesus, kind of thing. He gets very excited. But anyway, so so this is the one that we will have up on our first station, and it's great to get the kids' ideas and let them express themselves on what they see in the story and what they think of this story. My 7-year-old came up with this for Simon, taking the cross from Jesus. So we have a little Lego Jesus, and he has the cross, and then Simon was set up next to him to help him with it. So this was set up nicely. I had to pick it up for the camera, but anyway, so she created a little scene with Lego people. My middle son created another Lego scene with the clothes. Again, I'm going to have to lift this up, but not working well. So we've got some Jesus's clothes here, right? And then we have the knights, or not knights, I'm sorry, the Roman soldiers around. And then he had the dice to represent the casting of lots for Jesus's clothing. So that's just some ideas. My husband and I are doing the final station. Jesus dies on the cross. And I actually got this from a church. I'm sorry, my 7-year-old is off screen. What is this for? Oh, so she has Jesus nailed to the cross. So, and he has glitter for the blood, but she did that. It was all we had. I know we are stuck at home, but anyway, so she did a great job. She is. And so lastly, for the last one, now you can use whatever you have at home. This is all we have. We're not going to go out to buy wood. So we made a small one, but you can do a bigger one. We got this idea from the church we went to one year. They did this, and I thought it just made such an impact on us. So you have the cross at the front, and you do that station, Jesus dies on the cross. And then you come up with sins or issues that you're dealing with, right? Things that you've fought with yourself for a long time. And you write them on paper, and then you nail them to the cross. So we have a little cross, so we have little nails. If you have a bigger cross and you can actually nail it in, it makes quite the impact. And actually, this wood's kind of hard, so I'm going to get a hammer and hammer in my little pin. Let's see.
Don't hurt yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate that. She's going to make sure I stay safe. And you hammer in all of these things. So, and it can be anything that comes to mind. Pray about it. That was the one thing they had us do, was pray. And it just made an impact, because Jesus will bring it to your mind what you need to write down and what you need to nail to that cross. And it was very impactful. So anyway, this is going to be our final station for us. So I hope that was helpful. No. I hope that was helpful. And later. And if you have some ideas, please post them below. We would love to hear what you guys have to say, and hear the more ideas, the better. I would love to always learn more. So I think that was it. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful Holy Week, and a very happy Easter. All right, bye.
You should have asked them which one's your favorite.